I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack up. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack up. Rushing like a bullet into the end zone. Defense, hold up, no scoring in the red zone. Throw it up, pick 6, I feel like I'm Josh Rowe. Throwing dimes over the shoulder, think I'm Jack Winmo. I need me back to back, trying to be like Vulture. Cause a storm, cause I'm mighty, it's in the culture. Esports TV, YouTube, Twitch, SFL live tuning, you don't wanna miss. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack them. Next level like my entertainment. NXT on the stream, 8 p.m. on the beat. Catch me on the cam like I'm SFL commish. Yeah, you only got one chance, you can never miss. For the glory, revolution, feel my fury. Cause I'm a legend out in Canton, and I'm playing with dragons. I'm the king of this legion. SFL action, tuning this season.
Kickoff! Are you kidding me?
All they're gonna need is
Big pop, it's up in the air! And
Oh,
let's
wow.
go now! There you go! That's the kickoff that he's gonna win!
He's gonna go! Taser power! Touchdown! Quick!
I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack them.
And welcome to the Sunday Spotlight of the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports, along with Mike St. Green. I'm Cameron Irvine. Good evening. Mike, how are you doing tonight? One second, Mike. We're going to try to get your audio back and working. We don't have you working at this moment, unfortunately. We're going to try to fix that up. But while we do that, around the SFL's Mike O'Neill spoke on Eric Price, Denver's quarterback, earlier this week. The Denver Nightwings 2-3, the Lone Star Glory 2-3, our spotlight game tonight. And he talked about Eric Price's improvement over his first 3 seasons and if he's being overlooked.
But listen to this. Listen to these. If you were to hear these numbers, if you were to hear these stats, 4th in completion percentage, 2nd in yards per attempt, only behind Johnny Pickler, 2nd in yards per attempt in the entire league, 7th in QBR. You want to know those quarterbacks that are in front of him in QBR rating? Jack Wigmore, Baltimore. Johnny Pickler, London. Ashley Jackson, Arizona, which that one, you know, like I said, I said it earlier in the show, she's having a really, really good, like under the radar kind of good season. Not a lot of people are giving her credit. She's playing great. Synergy, DC. Brown, okay? Christian Brown, Vancouver. Matt Wilson, Mexico City. These are all playoff teams. These are the only quarterbacks that is ahead of Eric Price in QBR right now. That's it. These are the only ones that are in front of him. I look at these and I see 7 or 6 playoff teams. I see 6 leaders leading their teams, leading their organizations. Whenever I think about any of these teams, I think about these players. Jack Wigmore, leader. Johnny Pickler, leader. In his own way, but leader. Ashley Jackson, hell of a leader. Shabazz Synergy, leader on the field. Christian Brown, again, leader on the field. And apparently in the locker room. Matt Wilson was a leader in life. These are leaders. Eric Price is a third-year quarterback. Young kid.
So what do you think, Mike? Does Mike O'Neill have a point? And welcome to the show, by the way.
Yeah, good to be back. But does some points, yes, and one thing that I do disagree with is that he's being overlooked. I do not think he's being overlooked. Yes, he has a 93.1 QBR and he's completing 76% of his passes. Yes, but he has a team that's below 500 and he's only 8 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. So, that's not being overlooked. That means you're a decent quarterback in his third season, as he mentioned. He's trying to get his team that he took over as a rookie 3 seasons ago to get them back to the championship level that they played at. Then I just don't think they're there right now.
But I do understand what O'Neill is saying when you talk about Pickler and Jackson and Wilson and Wigmore and all these big names in the SFL. They're so identifiable. And Eric Price is right there, and you know who else is right there too is Ace Fennick. Both of these quarterbacks are in this realm where they're not necessarily that upper echelon or that recognizable face that you know in the league, but they are very talented. Ace Fennick is third in attempts, 8th in passing yards. He's definitely utilized in this Lone Star offense, and both of these teams who have played pretty okay football up to this point are going to put it on the line tonight.
Yeah, and all those quarterbacks you mentioned, other than Eric Price, and no slight against him, and of course he's doing a great job. All of them has either proven themselves as winners, or their teams are currently have winning records. And Ace, he was in the championship game last season. But let's get to what we have right now. 2 and 3 teams, both of them are desperately seeking a win right now to keep pace in their respective divisions and in the playoff race. So it's going to be an amazing game. And one huge factor for Denver, let's go back to them, is going to be Bailey O'Shaughnessy. The running game, the running back, he has 7 touchdowns on the season, and he's going to be a huge help to what Eric Price is going to be able to do offensively for the Nightwings.
I'd like to see both these teams' run games tonight really utilized to help Eric Price and Ace Fennick not make as many mistakes as they could, because both these secondaries are very good. Denver's is very young, but they have been playing some excellent football as of late. And at the end of the day, this game means a lot for both these teams. Their division leaders, Las Vegas in the West and Mexico City in the South, respectively, are running away. They're looking very, very good right now. Vegas is in our live look-in coverage tonight, Mike, against Lone Star's Southern buddies, Fort Worth. That should be an interesting game.
Yeah, Vegas. Only 2 words come to mind when you mention Las Vegas. Is Mason Kirby. I mean, he's been excellent this season and over the past couple of seasons. 638 yards leads the league in receiving yards, and if you want a big play, you go to him as well. Over 18 yards per reception when he does haul one in. And you mentioned the other team. Let's hope that Las Vegas does not get caught looking ahead for next week. That's going to be a huge matchup with Las Vegas and Mexico City next weekend.
So we've got Eric Price and Ace Fennick, who are hanging out in the top 10 of quarterback statistics. We've got Ike McBride and Bailey O'Shaughnessy, both capable of carrying the teams on their shoulders. And we got 2 and 3 teams fighting for season 19 respect and to get back to 500 before the second half of the season. It should be a great one. Mike and I will be back here at halftime. But until then, Ethan Muslin, Brett Killian on the call. Denver Lone Star coming up next. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports.
Next Level Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the Simulation Football League.
Since January 27th, 2020, Lone Star and Denton, Texas have yet to host the Denver Nightwings, and now at the halfway point of season 19, that time has come again as both Denver and Lone Star at 2-3, hoping to get to 500 and have an opportunity to get themselves into contention for the playoffs. Hello everybody, welcome to the Simulation Football League here on Next Level Sports, brought to you by APM Music. I'm Ethan Muslin alongside my partner Brett Solberg. Brett, they were talking about it on the pregame show. You know, both Denver and Lone Star really needing to get back into 500. You know, they're a couple of games back from Vegas and Houston, respectfully, trying to get back into that playoff hunt, maybe even get into the division lead. This game absolutely crucial for both these squads.
And the key to this game here is which offense is finally going to explode. Denver has not had a 30-plus point game yet this season. They've entered it. No, they've actually had one, but aside from that, they've had sub 30-point games, and 30 seems to be the goal number for a lot of teams to win SFL games. We did see it once here with Lone Star getting 41 against Atlanta in Week 4, but they have to admit they pulled off a dud in Week 5 against Mexico City. Both teams looking to bounce offensively here. It's just dependent on who's going to step up on each side.
Yeah, and both of these teams are very capable of having great offensive games. The last time these two played each other, it was in Denver. This is back in season 14, back on March 15th, 2020, back when Lone Star was in Seattle as the Tyrants. They ended up winning that game 37-24. And now they're going to be facing each other for the first time in a long time. Denver going to be kicking the ball away to kick things off in this ball game. You see in the top left side of your screen, we'll be catching up on Fort Worth and Las Vegas during certain points of the show today. And we're off and running from Denton, Texas. Going to be taken up to about the 20, up to the 25 to the 30. And a nice return up to the Lone Star 32-yard line. Turn there made by number 81, Deuce Fennick, one half of the Card Sharks, and we'll introduce the Lone Star Glory offense being led by Ace Fennick, the second half of the Card Sharks.
Yeah, and Lone Star definitely needs to step up offensively here. Haven't seen a lot of Ike McBride, the running back this season. Only 74 carries for her so far, 23rd in the league. Very unorthodox.
They will hand it off to Ike, and she'll get a couple of yards, brings it up to the 32-yard line, 34 they're going to say, for a couple of yards before getting taken down by Stephon Forge. Let's introduce that Lone Star Glory offense. Ace Fennick is the quarterback. Ike McBride, Mateo Privado in the backfield. Wide receivers are Ziggy Ronick, Greg Soto, Deuce Fennick, and B. Robo. Tight ends are Garrison Blue and Hank Earl Tro, the unsigned rookie. Second down with a pass down the middle, completed for the first down. And there is Garrison Blue, the tight end. Always a good way to go down here in the SFL. It's first down to 46.
Yeah, and Lone Star is going to hope that this bye week is definitely going to shake off any of the bad mojo that they had in that 44-14 loss to Mexico City. Ace Fennick almost threw 60 times that game because they were early, and it looks like he's going to start to pass again here.
Got two receivers to his right in the shotgun, two tight ends left. Fennick's going to step up a little bit, throw, and it's deflected, incomplete. Nice step in on that route from Ron Hoff. That'll give us an appropriate time to introduce the Nightwing defense. On the line, Marlon Marshall, Hugo Reynosa, Gene Benazzi, and Igor Barbatov. Linebackers are Romero Morales, rookie Rob Foraker, and Stephon Forge, formerly of San Diego. Quarterbacks are Ron Huff, Nick Kindler, Tyson Thorne. Your safeties are TJ Frosty, Lucas DeVore, and Josh Neal. Two in the backfield for second and 10. One receiver left. They're going to hand it off up the middle. It's a nice run from Ari Mills, the fullback. Oh, excuse me. No, that's number 48 for Lone Star. That's Mateo Privado. I'm looking at the wrong roster there. But it's a good gain on the play for 3rd and 3.
Yeah, and I think Lone Star needs to continue using that running game here because Ike McBride, she can be a very lethal running back when she chooses to. And Mateo Privado is that, power fullback that they need. So they need to start utilizing the running game more.
Pistol set here on 3rd and 3. Gonna throw right side, completed for the first down. Crossing midfield down to the Denver 47. Nice gain of about 8 or 9 on that play with the pass to Greg Soto.
And when you use your running game properly, it's going to leave your receivers open enough on the next play or the play after. And we saw it exactly there with Greg Soto getting wide open on an easy out route pass. Just a quick 5-yard out route, easy first down for Lone Star.
Got 5 yards on the route, then 10 more after that catch for 15. 1st and 10 now at the Denver 37. Brent Fennick under center. Goes a quick pass to Ike, gets the catch. Gonna barrel through one, cannot barrel through the others. And we'll get a gain of 4 on the play with Forge there to help make that tackle alongside Hugo Reynosa.
Yeah, and Denver was right in thinking that Lone Star was going to go for the swing pass here, but Lone Star only had one blocker with them with B.E. Robo, and that only resulted in the 4 yards. A good key block could have that first down for them easy.
We got the tight end flexed out to the right side here for 2nd down. 3 receivers left. Bennett, quick step, throws to the tight end. It will be completed. Garrison Blue getting the catch, getting the first down to the Denver 23-yard line. A gain of about 10.
And that's what I like about any trips bunch sets, because you'll have 3 receivers bunched up in just one side of the field, so you can have that distraction on one side where you can throw it to that tight end on the opposite side on the easy quick out route. And again, another key first down. Lone Star's offense, like they have all season, has been rolling here in this first drive.
Fantastic on this drive. They'll hand it off right to the left side for McBride. She can't get anywhere there as Forge makes the tackle for no gain.
Yeah, and when you're talking about running games, you also have to acknowledge Denver's ability to keep running backs, kind of neutralized here. They might only be 16th in the league in rushing yards against, but it's still sub 100 in terms of rushing yards per game, and that's a great number to have.
2nd down and 10, 2 receivers, 1 on each side. Ace gonna step back, has time, throws to the right side. It will be completed to Ziggy Hronek. That'll be enough for the first down. Gets it to about the 11 for another 11-yard gain, closing in on that 10-yard mark.
And now here's the test here for Lone Star. They have a fantastic offense. They are currently 6th in the league at yards per game with 406, but are middle of the field in terms of points per game with only 27.8. They need to start delivering touchdowns instead of field goals here.
They'll have a chance here. It's 1st and basically goal to go. Fennick, big step, throws right. Pass completed. Down to the 6, about the 5-yard line. Garrison Blue getting another catch. That's his 3rd of the day.
And how open have these out routes been for Lone Star here already in this drive? About 4 or 5 passes have been completed from Ace Fennick, just knowing where his receivers are going to be on those out routes. Great work from the receivers with these cuts.
Offset eye with 2 tight ends left for 2nd and 4. They'll hand off to Ike. She'll go left. Has room. Going to get taken down at about the 3. Got so close to the first down, but ended up getting stopped by Josh Neal. 3rd and short coming up, but it's basically 3rd and goal at this point.
Yeah, with 2 yards left to get to the end zone, they're probably thinking pay dirt for this next play here. But I didn't mind the smart, slow thinking from McBride. She was waiting for her spots, but just couldn't get to the end zone. A very valiant effort on that 2nd down.
Jumbo pack for 3rd down and 1 on the eye set. Handoff to McBride up the middle into the end zone. Touchdown, Lone Star.
And she did it again here, just finding an open space this time. Didn't need to burst through and try to power her way to the end zone. She just tried to find wherever the space was given from the offensive line and took it. Just an amazing start to this game for Lone Star, and they cash in first early. That is going to be big for them, getting an early advantage against this Denver team who averages more yards than them per game and is looking to explode offensively as well. So great job from Lone Star to get their first drive going.
That was an incredible drive. 12 plays, going 70 yards. Only 5 running plays, but it ended up with that 1-yard touchdown for Ike McBride. That's her 3rd touchdown of the season. Extra point on the way from Matt Fennick, and it is up and good. And look at that. That almost took up the entire first half of the first quarter. We got 5:48 to go, and it's 7-0 Lone Star up.
And if you do the math there, that's 5 minutes and 12 seconds of possession time. And any drive that takes between 4 to 6 minutes and it ends in a touchdown, those are the drives that you want.
Incredible drive from Lone Star. Denver's going to hopefully try to match that, and we'll have equal drives to end the first quarter. Kick on the way here from Matt Fennick. Will be taken inside the end zone, brought up to the 22-yard line. Will be a nice return by Bryce Battle to set up Denver in decent field position. Now we'll be seeing Eric Price take the field for the first time. We were talking about him on the pregame show. One of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league this season.
Yeah, and so far statistically, he looks like a marvel. He's 4th in completion percentage, 4th in yards, 9th in completions. He's top 10 in QBR. He's all over the place.
He's going to hand it off here to Bailey O'Shaughnessy. Going to find the seam. Oh, but he gets stopped just short of the first down marker. Tackled there from Bogey Barr. Going to set up 2nd down and inches. And we'll introduce the Denver Nightwing offense. Quarterback is Eric Price. In the backfield, Bailey O'Shaughnessy and Ari Mills. Wide receivers, Bryce Battle, Riley Quintero, Logan Keel, and Michaela Foster. Tight ends are Jeremy Mosley and Brian Murphy. 2nd down and a piece of paper to go. They'll hand off to O'Shaughnessy to the right side. Gets the first down up to the 35-yard line. Get a gain of 3. And a good tackle on that play. That's number 56, Fred Tremille with the tackle.
Yeah, and as much as we talk about Lone Star's great offense, we do have to discuss about Lone Star being probably a step behind on defense right now. They are allowing over 30 points per game, and this is going to be their big test against a Denver team that, hucks it around all over the place.
And off to O'Shaughnessy on the first play here on this second set of downs. Going to get to about the 37 before being brought down by Stephen Fellows II, and we'll introduce him and the rest of the Lone Star defense. Jukin Rukin, Yogi Barr, Stephen Fellows II, and Tina Begin. They're on the line. Linebackers are Freddie Trammell, Bogey Barr, and Jay Mart. Cornerbacks, Mickey McGuire, Bill Martin Jr. Your safeties are Rain Rie, Jeff Spicoli, Albert Begin, and Nate Hall. On 2nd down and 8, they're going to pass it out here on the screen to O'Shaughnessy, but he'll only get back to the line. Nothing doing there. Nice set of tackles there. Bo Martin Jr. being one of those key tackles. It sets up 3rd and 8.
Yeah, and a big 3rd and 8 here for this Lone Star defense. Your offense on their first drive had a very lengthy touchdown drive, 12 plays in over 5 minutes, and you want to, get this team started in a good way by getting a following stop for them. Denver going shotgun here.
The 3 wide to the right, 1 to the left. Pump fake here from Price up the middle. Completed for the first down. Gets it up to the midfield stripe. Jeremy Mosley throws it to the tight end indeed.
And there is the composure that we've talked about over the last, season and a half from Eric Price. Definitely finding his cool and definitely being a leader for this Denver Nightwing squad. And, in a 3rd and 8 situation, a very tough situation to get in here in this first quarter, and delivers it right on the mark.
Offset I for 1st and 10, 1 receiver right. A little pressure on the line from Lone Star. They'll hand off to O'Shaughnessy and gets packed up for a 3-yard loss. Bo Martin Jr. getting another tackle on that play.
Yeah, and Lone Star is definitely going to need to keep a track of Bailey O'Shaughnessy throughout this game, because he can be a very streaky running back. He can have games where he can have 150-plus yards, or he can be very quiet and only get about 4 yards per carry.
2nd down and long, 3 wide receivers left. They're going to throw right. Oh, my goodness. That might have been too quick of a throw for Jeremy Mosley. Price ended up throwing into triple coverage with no receiver near.
Man, you don't see that too often from Eric Price. He's very composed, and he finds his receivers very well. And getting up 75+% of completions throughout the last couple of weeks, or last couple of games, I should say. So that's very unorthodox from Eric Price coming out of this.
They're going to flip the sides on this play. 3 receivers now to the right on 3rd and long. Dime pack for Denver. Price, plenty of time. Down the right side. Wow. Completed! And an incredible catch from Logan Keel keeps the drive going for Denver. It's 1st down in Lone Star territory.
Yeah, and all these receivers from Denver's past and present coming in, guys like Bryce Battle and Riley Quintero. But I think Logan Keel is probably one of the most underrated receivers in this league. The way that he can jump up high and get those catches, that is a moss of a catch.
Absolutely. 20-yard reception on the play. Sets up first down at the 33. Handoff to O'Shaughnessy up the middle. Going to get wrapped up from behind. That's Bogey Barr making another play there, but it'll be a gain of 3.
Yeah, and that's what Lone Star needs to do here. Just needs to contain O'Shaughnessy, contain R.E. Mills, any type of the running game, and trust in that secondary to force Eric Price into some tough throws. And right now, it's okay, but Denver's marching.
Marching now with an offset eye, 2 tight ends left. Second down and 7. And off to O'Shaughnessy again. Going to go left. Has room. Gets a hole. Gets up to the 10. To the 5 and brought down at the 3-yard line. Oh, man. 27 yards from Bailey O'Shaughnessy on that play. First and goal to go.
And what a fantastic job from the offensive line to find the key blockers. You'll see right up there, number 62, Kevin Jones, the left guard, coming in, dragging out of the line, and being that front man to just get an additional block and blocking another defender so that O'Shaughnessy could get another 15 yards out of that. So close to the end zone here. But now Price and company have 3 chances to get to the end zone and try to respond back.
First down and goal to go. Heavy pro set. 9 feet away from Pater. Handoff up the middle. R.E. Mills going to get 1 yard on the play. Got swarmed there by a couple of Glory defenders, but it'll be second and goal at the 2.
Yeah, and I think Lone Star is going to be ready for a lot of goal line stops here. A lot of heavy bunch formations, getting, 6, 7, 8 people in the box and trying to stuff any inside runs. So I think Denver needs to do a swing pass so they can get themselves to the end zone.
Going into the same set. This might be second verse, same as the first. Second and goal. Handoff to Mills. Cannot get anywhere. It's down for about a short loss. Nothing doing on that play. They're getting stuffed here now. Third and goal.
Yeah, and Jay Mark being the main guy there to get to R.E. Mills. And again, like you said, twice may be the charm. It could be third time as they go into this third down situation here. But I still think an outside runner, a swing pass might be the trick.
They're going to go, oh, and O'Shaughnessy caught in the backfield. It's a loss of 2. Lone Star immediately saw that play. A beautiful goal line stand from the Glory.
And that seems to be the issue with Denver here, is that they get so close to the end zone, but they can't get themselves to pay dirt. 14th in the league in points with 25.8. Despite having 450 yards per game, they need to solve those issues in this game if they're going to keep up with Lone Star here.
And they are not going to get the playoff in time. We reach up to the end of the first quarter. 2 drives, and it's 7-0 Glory with the Nightwings about to kick the field goal. You're watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. We'll flip the fields and be right back. Welcome back to Denton, Texas, and Medal of Honor Field. Ethan Muslin and Brett Solberg here on the call. 7-0 Lone Star with the field goal to come here from Denver, and the kick is up and away and good. Before they were so rudely interrupted by the referee, Matt Mason Remy, putting it up, now making it 7-3.
Yeah, and another long drive that you see out of this. Just these two teams definitely looking to drag this offense as much as they can. And look at that, 2 drives and already 11 minutes and 2 seconds gone in this game.
It's incredible that we've had these 2 drives and we're already into the second quarter. Both of these teams just being very methodical with their offenses. We'll see if they get any aggressive plays coming up in the next few minutes. And this return going to be brought up to the 24-yard line. If you're brand new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game all into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, you can visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. We got a heavy pro set here for 1st and 10. Ace is going to throw it to the left side. Good for a first down and a little bit more. I'm going to call that about 10.5 with a nice pass. And that is to the secondary wide receiver. That's number 80. That's 87. Hank Earl Troll, the secondary tight end.
Yeah, and it seems like throughout this season, we've been seeing a lot of like these fake running back swing passes, and then instead going to the flat opposite side to the second tight end, and it seems to be working throughout this season. Another quick first down for Lone Star.
Going to the Woolery set, 2-2. Finnick pocket collapsing, throws it. It's caught! Another 11-yard gain, another first down. This one going to the other tight end. That's Garrison Blue. No, excuse me, that's Greg Soto.
And it's that composure and that fortitude from Ace Fennick that we've seen for quite some time now, knowing that the pocket's being collapsed. He still gets the ball off, gets hit after he throws it, and still gets the completed pass.
It's out up to the 46. Right side pass here completed to Deuce Fennick. There's the Card Shark connection, hitting for the first time this football game. And this goes for a gain of about 5.
Yeah, and Ace Fennick, so far in this game, 9 of 10 with his attempts so far in this game. He's being ultra efficient with his passing game just through this first quarter and a bit.
Sets up 2nd down and 5, just inside Denver territory. 3 wide receivers on the tight end flex, offset eye. Ace going to throw left, and it is caught on the tiptoes by Garrison Blue. Going to get just short of the first down. They're going to mark him out with 1 yard to go.
Yeah, that one's a very, very tough catch to make. Anytime you get to the sidelines and trying to fight to cross that first down boundary. And I can tell you that as a receiver, that is extremely tough to get, because once you get to that sideline, you can't move yourself left or right because you want to secure that catch. But nonetheless, 3rd down and 1.
Critical 3rd down here. Denver hoping to pull it to stop. Hand off to McBride. Right side. Gets the first down. Dragging Nick Kindler. But still managing to make the tackle. Going to bring it up to just about the 40-yard line.
And yeah, McBride doesn't need too much of an opening on any offensive line or goal line set to get herself through. She just needs just enough to get her body through and get that first down. It was just 1 yard that was needed. Good enough blocking from the Lone Star offense to get that first down.
1st and 10, just inside the 40-yard line. 3 wide receivers, 2 in the backfield. Ace going to throw on the quick pass, left side. That is completed for about a gain of 7. And that is B. Robo getting one of his 2nd catch of the day.
Yeah, and it seemed like Tyson Thorne, the dime corner that we see throughout the season for Denver, he was almost ready for that out route pass, but just seemed to be probably a yard or 2 ahead of the pass. Ace Fennick doing a great job to throw it over his head and get it to his receiver.
3 bunch to the right for 2nd down and 3. Quick step for Ace. Throws down the middle. Completed to Soto. Gets it up to the 19-yard line. Fantastic catch right up the middle into coverage. Sets up first down in the red zone.
And Greg Soto has been such an efficient option for Lone Star throughout this season. Over 350 yards. Lone Star doing a great job getting everyone involved, but Greg Soto definitely being the benefactor in this first half, getting multiple receptions and big yards and big first downs.
Comparing Eric Price and Ace Fennick right now, they've only had 2 incompletions between them. Granted, Eric Price has only thrown 4, but Ace Fennick 12 for 13 right now. 1st and 10. Gonna throw it on the screen. It's completed. Gets in some
Good
positive
blocking.
yardage. Ike McBride go down to the 5 and down to the 3-yard line. What an incredible screenplay there as Ike McBride turned up what could have been negative yards into 1st and goal.
Yeah, and the key to any screenplay is that you need efficient blocking from all your members of the offensive line. You had Almond Fisher, the tackle. I saw another tackle come in from the opposite side. Edward Osterman, number 72, come in as well, just swinging forward and trying to find any blockers to give McBride as much space as possible. Fantastic swing pass.
Sets up 1st and goal at the 2. They're going to hand it off. Oh, they're going to get Cat in the backfield. Ike McBride with a loss on that play. Ends up being a loss of 2 for 2nd and goal.
And now Denver wanted to give Lone Star a taste of their own medicine as the Denver offense was stifled in the goal line. Now at the 4-yard line, Lone Star trying to punch their ticket once again, and Denver trying to stop them.
You see there, Kindler so far, 4 tackles, 3 assists. Pass here from Ace. Pump fakes it down to the end zone. Incomplete. Knocked away by Ron Huff. So far, so good for the goal line stand. It's going to be 3rd down.
Yeah, 2 for 2 on the stops here for Denver this time. Ron Hoff just reaching his hands out as far as they can because he knew he got beat by B.E. Robo. You can see right there, and just tries to take him right before he hits that end line, that back of the end bounds line, and manages to get his hands on it. Great work from Huff.
Now it's going to be 3rd down and goal. 12 feet to pay dirt in the 2 and 2. Fennick with the drop, passes it, it's caught! Touchdown, Lone Star! And it's Ace to deuce. The Card Sharks end up with a score.
And Lone Star now 2 for 2 on their red zone efficiency, and that's what you want to see out of this offense that's been trying to get back into the positives offensively here, getting 2 drives and 2 scores in this one. Quicker than the last one, but still shed it off well over 4 minutes of the drive. Fantastic work from Lone Star's offense to start this game.
Prior to this game, Lone Star was 7th in the SFL in passing touchdowns, 12 on the season. That puts it to 13 on the year as the kick is up and good. 6:40 to go here in the 2nd quarter. It is now 14-3 Lone Star. That drive took a little bit shorter time. That only took about 4 minutes and 20 seconds or so. But again, both of these teams doing a great job, being very methodical on their drives, turning it into points. Denver's turned it into a field goal. Lone Star with 2 of them going for touchdowns. Battle's going to take this from the goal line. Try to cut to the right side, get a little bit of room, but is only going to get brought up to the 24-yard line. The SFL Weekly Fantasy Contest is officially up and running. Do you think you can draft the best team every week while staying under the salary cap? Or maybe you just want to enhance your SFL experience. It's free to play with no season-long commitment, and a new contest opens every week on Tuesday night. Join now and show off your fantasy skills to the rest of the league. You can contact Jack Wall, Stephen Hacker, or Hunter Norwood on the SFL Discord to join today. Price going to throw here on 1st down. O'Shaughnessy gets the catch, makes one man go down, and ends up getting to the 30-yard line. That'll be a gain of 6 before Nate Hall helped to make that play.
Yeah, and Denver's really trying to go for blood here offensively. Lone Star now 2 for 2 on their drives, getting some key points out of this. And they don't want to fall too far behind if Lone Star is going to continue this way. So good start to this drive, a nice little swing pass for 6 yards.
Denver's going to have to be just as methodical to just keep it close. O'Shaughnessy up the middle, couple of spin moves, going to get the 1st down. Pushing and shoving up to the 34. Put a little dance routine in that, but it gets the 1st.
Yeah, and when you have a dance routine, you got to have some quick feet. You got to have some quick, agile feet to get those spin moves going around. And O'Shaughnessy did a great job just to keep him pushing forward after the spin moves to get the 1st down.
3 wide to the left here on 1st down, and it's a pass to the right, incomplete. Looks like there might have been a little bit of hand on that one. Riley Quintero making the intended receiver there, but McGuire there to make the play.
Yeah, and that's a straight one-on-one play. And Eric Price was hoping that Quintero could beat that one-on-one. But Mickey McGuire, he's a pesky little fella sometimes. He can stay with any man in this league, and they don't call him Gunny for nothing. He's gonna gun for those interceptions.
2nd down and 10, offset I with one receiver to the left. Price under center, gonna step back, screens it out to O'Shaughnessy. Good wide open pass here. And that'll bring it up to the 41-yard line, closing into the midfield mark. Going to bring up 3rd and 4.
Yeah, and it's a nice swing pass again, going to O'Shaughnessy, and he's definitely, the standard marker for this Denver offense, especially with these 1st and 2nd downs. Now 3rd and 4 opens up the playbook a lot here, and they have trips to the left.
3rd down and 4. Price going to throw up to the right side. It's caught, but it's no. Not going to get to the 1st down mark. 4th and inches after completion from Mosley. We're going to have to go over real quick to the Silver State. We got a game break from Cam. Cam, what's going on?
Thank you, Ethan. Mike St. Green, let Marcus cook, huh?
Yeah, Marcus Dunn have been struggling most of the season. He finds Stephen Hacker right here with a deep pass to get Fort Worth inside the red zone, finished off by Jason Williams' touchdown run. Fort Worth up 7-0 in the 1st quarter.
Toros 10.5-point dogs in Vegas. Back to Lone Star and Ethan and Brent.
Thank you very much, Cam. You saw the punt there, fair caught at the Lone Star 23-yard line. That'll set up the 3rd drive. This is the 5th drive of the ball game right now. Lone Star now taking it up the middle for McBride. To get it up to the 30-yard line, a gain of 7 on that play. That punt from Denver, that punt from Cato Vasquez, the first punt we've had all game. This has been a pretty solid running from both of these teams.
Yeah, and Denver kind of has to feel robbed out of this because I thought they would have had that 1st down. Maybe Bogey Barr pushed the receiver behind that 1st down line, but nonetheless forced to punt for the first time in this game. And now Lone Star getting 7 yards on their first play in this drive.
Twins to the right for 2nd and 3. Ace with plenty of time. Gonna throw right. Completed, but just short of the 1st down. And they're gonna say he only made forward progress back to the line of scrimmage. But the catch officially made by Ziggy Hronek.
Yeah, and it looked like Hronek was running, kind of this weird pattern that turned into a comebacks kind of route, and Fennec was just trying to, plant a dot at the 1st down line. It just didn't happen.
Deep throw here for 3rd down. Caught in the midfield stripe down to the 40-yard line. An incredible pass from B. Robo. It's 1st down in Denver territory.
Yeah, and again, it's another one-on-one play, this time flipping it to the other side and using B.E. Robo to try to get a little bit free on what looked to be Tyson Thorne on that opposite side. No, sorry, that was Ron Hoff. That was supposed to be the one-on-one coverage man. And TJ Frosty did a pretty good job on being that secondary help on that deep middle pass, but was just behind the football, and Robo with his outstretched arms managed to grab the catch. Big chunky yardage here for Lone Star.
And that's why they're 6th in the SFL in average passing yards per game at 316. 1st and 10 for Ace. Going to screen it out left side. Caught for Ike. And no, she's only going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing on that play. And the tackle made from Ford. Just going to be 2nd down with no gain.
And a good recovery play defensively from the Denver secondary, because Fennec was looking deep on that right side but couldn't find anybody, so he had to go with his check down option and McBride on a screen pass with no screeners, and it ended up being no gain.
2nd down and 10 as we're approaching the 2-minute warning. 3 wide receivers for Ace. He's going to throw to the left side, completed for a gain of 6. That's another catch from B. Robo. You see there, now up to 45 yards on the day.
Yeah, and that was just a conservative play for Lone Star. They just need to get a little bit ahead in the yards, knowing that their last play was a little bit of a broken play. Going to Ike McBride, this time they just go with the safe out route, finds B.E. Robo, gets 6 yards, opens up the playbook here for 3rd down.
3rd down and 4. Looks like they're going to go for a pass play here. Ace right now, 18 of 20. He's only made 2 mistakes. They're going to get a free play. It's going to be a free 5 yards regardless. That catch was made by Greg Soto, but it looks like they'll take the 5 on the offsides.
And there's that comebacks route again that we saw from Hronik earlier. This time, Greg Soto manages to grab the catch, and they could have argued that it would have been a first down, but that neutral zone infraction penalty is just not going to negate anything anyways, and that's a free first down for Lone Star.
Free first down, courtesy of the defensive end, Hugo Reynosa, number 99. Gonna pop Denver back another 5 yards and give the Glory a first down, and that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. It's been a quick one here in Denton. 2 to go, but Lone Star's up 14-3 over the Nightwings. You're watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. We'll take a breath and be right back.
Back to SFL action on Next Level Sports, and off the turnover, Mike, Vegas does that.
Yeah, they've definitely taken advantage of it, and Scott Johnson takes it in on a 1-yard carry to tie the game up at 7.
A couple of picks since then, but still a tie ball game. Back to Ethan and Brett in Denton.
Thanks a lot, Cam. 2 minutes to go here in Denton, Texas. Handoff here on 1st and 10, and it's going to be Ike McBride with a first down. Gets to the 10, to the 5, down to the 4-yard line. 1st and goal to go. Boy, oh boy, Lone Star just running on all cylinders. They're threatening to score for 3.
Man, and it looked like that play was broken from the start. The offensive line was all over the place. But again, Ike McBride doesn't need that much of a hole to get herself through to get these big yards, and just finds her way to power through and then use her speed to get forward.
Ike McBride going to go again here and punches into the end zone. Touchdown, Lone Star. That is 3 drives, 3 touchdowns for the Glory.
And we talk about how elusive that Ike McBride can be, and we almost forget every time how much of cinder block shoulders that she has, just going through a bunch of people, using her hands to just truck stick people to the turf. And like you said, 3 drives, 3 successful touchdowns for Lone Star. They could not ask for a better start to this game in the first half.
That play going 8, that drive going 8 plays, 77 yards. Those 4 run plays going for 41 with that big McBride run as the kick is up and good for Matt Fennick. Makes it 21-3 in favor of the Glory. Coming up on the APM Music Halftime Show, Cam and Michael break down the first half action between the Nightwings and the Glory, recap the best of Saturday's action, check in on what Marcus Dunhill is doing to his community to help burn victims, review Sunday's early games, and update you on what's going on in Nevada between Fort Worth and Las Vegas. That'll all be coming up in a couple minutes on the APM Music Halftime Show. And to kick this away to Bryce Battle, takes it right at the goal line. Going to bring it up to the 20, cuts to the left, tries to stay on his feet, and he'll get to the 26-yard line. Denver now behind the 8 ball in a big way, down by 18 points. They're going to have to get something going here before we get to the end of the half.
Yeah, and we were talking about this during the commercial break here, and we both thought that Denver, both offensively and especially defensively, they played way too conservative at this point, and it's resulted them in being down 18 points at this point. So they need to start getting more aggressive here. It starts with this drive with $1:20 to go in the half.
2 tight ends left on an offset eye. They'll hand off to Bailey, and stays on his feet. Going to get up to about the 31, gain of 5. They're going to go right to the no-huddle offense here with 1:10 to go.
Not the formation you want to hurry up in.
They'll hand it off to Bailey again, who again cuts left. Can't get anything going on that play, but they're going to go into the no-huddle again now with 1 minute to go.
Yeah, and it's just going to stay with another run play. Watch for O'Shaughnessy maybe going the opposite side.
Now staying on the left side, and oh boy, Lone Star just read that thing like a book. 3 straight plays, 3 straight handoffs to the left for Bailey O'Shaughnessy into the 3 and out. As number 92, Tina Begin, she makes the stop on the drive.
Yeah, and we talk about how Denver's being conservative. You can just look at this drive here on how conservative they've been. A very run-heavy set, and you want to go hurry up, that's not how you do it. You need to find some passes in between. Go with the 3-receiver set, and there you see, the last 2 plays, they lost yardage. And now they have to shed as much clock as they can off out of this second quarter, so that Lone Star has no chance to respond.
Punt on the way here. It's going to be returned at about the 37, pushed up to the 44-yard line. So there'll be time for about 1 play after the return. Lone Star will get about 6 seconds or so to go before the end of the half. So it's right now. It's been all Lone Star in this past first half. Denver's going to have to make a lot of adjustments going into the second half.
They're going to go Hail Gary here, but look at this. Denver bunching up here. They're tightening their marks.
Oh, and it's a big tackle in the back. The first sack of the ball game there. Lone Star's going to take a timeout with 3 seconds to go. They ended up losing them about 6.
Yeah, and you know what? That paid off dividends for Denver there. I wasn't liking how the corners were kind of bunching up here, but they played a little bit more aggressive, that defensive line, and gave Fennick no chance to get that football off and forces a sack, and now pushes it back farther, this Hail Mary attempt. This might get them out of the idea of trying to go for a touchdown. They might just go for a conservative play and just get to the locker room to end the half.
And that is exactly what they're doing. They're in a 2-2 set, but by all accounts, this will be the last play of the half. Nickel pack for Denver. Dime pack for Denver. They got 5 in the blocks. Ace killing off the play clock. They'll hand it off to Ike McBride. She'll get a few yards on the play. Gets up to the 30, up to about the 45-yard line. So they'll get about a gain of 6 on the play to push her yards up above the 50 mark. But that will be the end of the first half of play. 21-3, Lone Star over the Nightwings. Denver will get the ball to start the second half. They'll need to build something up to get things going here. We'll be back with the APM Music Halftime Show in just a minute. You're watching the SFL on Next Level Sports.
Welcome back to SFL Studios for the APM Music Halftime Report. Along with Mike St. Green, I'm Cameron Irvine, and your halftime score is Lone Star 21 and Denver 3. A surprising first half, Mike, where Denver just hasn't really been able to get in a rhythm at all tonight, and Lone Star's offense humming.
Yeah, and one of the best defenses that you can have is not have your defense on the field. And Lone Star Glory have done a great job of basically getting back to their roots, which is pounding the rock with Ike McBride, getting the ball in her hands as much as you possibly can. And it has paid off dividends for them so far in the first half. 2 touchdown runs for her, and only had 2 coming into the season. So, and that's really been the bread and butter for Lone Star over the past few seasons. And it's, good to see them get back to that. And it's very effective in the first half.
Lone Star 1 half away from improving to 3-3 and getting 1 game closer to Houston, 1 game closer to Mexico City, top that South Division. And speaking of Mexico City, Mike, tonight is the official halfway mark of the regular season. You might have a new number 1 in your power rankings. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to, say anybody's ahead of Baltimore, but Mexico City, they are definitely proving themselves to be one of the better teams, if not the best team in the league right now, just with the way that they're playing. I understand that Baltimore is undefeated, 2-time defending champion, but to put up the 50 points in 2 consecutive weeks, to beat the teams, beat Florida a couple of weeks ago, the worst loss Florida ever suffered in their long history, 50 points plus, and then to put up another 50 and beat San Diego the way that they did last night. And these guys they're playing great offense, obviously being able to put up 50, but the defense is playing great as well. I just think right now they definitely look like the best team in the league.
Last night, you say, Mike? Well, that's great because we've got a bunch of the best Saturday night highlights. We pick it up in the fourth quarter of Florida-Atlanta here in our NXT coverage of the SFL, and this was a beauty from Bryant Dynasty to Kyle Finnemore in double coverage.
Yeah, great throw there by Dynasty to Finnemore right late in the second half there, and to get Atlanta in the Florida territory.
It was a back-and-forth game, not a lot of flash until late in this one, but it got interesting quick. Florida was up 19-14 over Atlanta, under 8 to go in the fourth quarter. Dynasty dropping back, finds Boo Chisholm open. Chisholm gets him into the red zone. Chisholm had himself a heck of a night. That was his 5th grab, and Atlanta knocking on the door down 5. 2nd and goal at the 2. 1 minute later, out to BDG Hollywood, and watch this. Looking for contact. Gets the touchdown. Embarrasses Evan Carroll. He would get his revenge later, and Atlanta takes the lead 21-19. There you see Indianapolis clobbering Motor City. Not going to focus on that. Instead, Bullet Boletsky breaking ankles, and he's gone, Mike.
Yeah, we saw BDG with the touchdown on his end, and then Bullet Boletsky really was kind of held in check most of this game, and he breaks out there with a huge touchdown to put Florida up late in this game.
Boletsky ended up player of the game. He's had a slow start to this season, but Florida trying to avoid a 2-4 start, shake off that 50-point loss they had to Mexico City a week ago. Looking good. They're up 5 now. Dynasty back on the 3-yard line, 1:27 to go. He's going to throw it, and it's going to get picked in the back of the end zone. Guess who? Evan Carroll seals the game for the Florida Storm. They improved to 3-3, and now they lead the East, Mike.
Yeah, that was incredible. We thought maybe when Atlanta were down there inside the red zone late in the game, that was going to, seal the deal. But then Evan Carroll comes along and saves the day for Florida, and they find themselves on top in the East.
We shift to Houston, where in the first quarter, nothing was going right for Arizona, including that drop touchdown pass from Connor Weston. Josh Rose, seemingly everywhere at all times, gets the pick. This was almost to halftime, Mike, and it was just 3-0 at that point, 6-0 rather.
Yeah, it was 6-0 at this time, and Josh Rowe, man, he's definitely a magnet for the football with a great interception end zone to stop Arizona drive.
GP Wells makes it happen, and Houston is clicking. They're up 12-0. Extra point made it 13-0 just before the half. And Arizona, who committed 5 turnovers in the first half, looked like a shell of themselves as Houston was rolling.
I mean, that's obvious.
Yeah, GP Wells is whenever he gets his hands on the ball, he's always going to make something big happen. Seemingly, here he is with another huge touchdown run for Houston to put them up 13-0, and it looks like at the half, and they were rolling at this time, Cam.
Well, sorry, Mike. Third quarter, Ashley Jackson, deep ball, Connor Weston figures out how to catch that one. That's a touchdown for Arizona. They get things moving on the board.
Yeah, they took advantage of a huge interception in the end zone on the defensive end and followed that up with a huge drive and a Connor Weston touchdown, and Arizona was finally on the board.
Off a Maurice Lloyd interception, her second of the game, DJ Moses scores. Arizona takes the lead. Late third quarter, 14-13. Pretty pass, Dave Burr. Mike St. Green coming down with the monster play. Houston back on top.
Yeah, that guy there looks pretty familiar and looks pretty good doing what he does, and great touchdown there by MSG.
Absolutely, as Burr fires that into traffic. He just goes up and gets a little. You're smiling from ear to ear. We're lucky you're not on camera. That is a touchdown for Arizona, fighting back. They take a 1-point lead, and that was it, 21-20. Arizona pulls off the upset on the road. That pass to Nick Lockett gets Matt Wilson over 50,000 yards last night as Mexico City was celebrating Australia night. They have a couple of Aussies on their team. They have an international flair every season. And Matt Wilson hits 50K, the first SFL player to do it in a 7-7 ball game.
Yeah, Nick Lockett, that's probably not the name that you would think that would have caught that historic pass, but yeah, great catching by Nick Lockett to put Matt Wilson over a great milestone.
Hey, that looked pretty good, too. Dexter Jackson, the linebacker, in coverage, Mike. I didn't know linebackers could make plays like this. The one-handed interception. Look at this.
This Mexico City defense, they've really been playing lights out over the past few weeks, and Dexter Jackson is a huge reason why.
Ray Bentley, 100th career touchdown. Jeffrey Daggs also got his 1,000th tackle in this game. 3 Hall of Famers putting in work. At this point, Mexico City is blowing the doors off of San Diego. It's 42-17. Bentley hits 100, one of a handful of players to do so. And, all Mexico City. 10 minutes to go in the fourth. San Diego trying to get something going. And Liam Ryan, one of the Aussies on this team, with the pick. And then watch this run from Phoenix Jones. Get out of his way. It was his 4th touchdown of the night, Mike. And Mexico City, 50 burgers. Back-to-back weeks. It's their first time scoring 50 since April of 2020.
Yeah, Phoenix Jones, he's really getting back in form that he was a couple of seasons ago when he was totally dominant with 19 touchdowns on the ground. He's starting to look like his old self.
Yes, he is. Well, Mike, we love spotlighting people in our community. Usually we're talking to them, but in this case, Marcus Dunhill, who's playing right now in the Fort Worth, Las Vegas game, was talked to by local television in Wisconsin, where he's from. He does an amazing thing, Mike. Of course, everybody knows, or many know, Marcus Dunhill's story. He just got into the Hall of Fame, 2022 Hall of Fame class in the SFL, but he's also a burn victim, was burned as a child. Just a tragic event, but he's not let that put him down, and he goes around doing some motivational speaking, talking about helping out other burn victims. He really does some great stuff in the community.
Yeah, Marcus Dunhill is a huge personality in this community. He retired as player a couple of seasons ago, and we weren't able to see him on the field for a couple of seasons, but then was able to come back and has bounced back greatly. But yeah, he's beloved in this community, does a lot to help out, around SFL and the things that he does, in his personal life. They're definitely amazing.
Check out the coverage of the recent camp that Marcus Dunhill does such a good job at. In Wisconsin. This edition, that's not it. How about this?
For nearly 30 years, the Professional Firefighters of Wisconsin Charitable Foundation has hosted a summer camp for burn-injured youth. Michael Wass is the executive director of the foundation.
What started as a grassroots firefighter-run organization has just grown into a thriving nonprofit. Serving, as a champion for burn survivors, firefighters, and safe communities all across the state.
Camp Timberlee is located in East Troy, and kids are bussed in from all over Wisconsin. Jeffrey Jordan started attending the camp when he was just 6 years old, and now he's a camp counselor. He says the camp has also helped him in many ways.
What this camp has taught me was that, I just got to be comfortable in my own skin, live my life, and not treat my life any different based on what's happened to me.
He travels all over the country speaking to individuals and organizations about what it means to be a burn survivor.
You have to live the life you have, and you can either do something great with it or you can sit around and be sad.
He's been a part of the camp for 22 years, and even his mom and sister decided to volunteer their time over the years.
My mom, who is a nurse, decided to volunteer as one of the camp nurses, so she got to help out and support the camp. And my sister, who got to see me go every year, when she turned 18, she volunteered to be a counselor.
The sky truly is the limit at Camp Timberlee as the kids soar to new heights. The message is clear.
Who you are is more important than what happened to you around here.
Credit to TMJ for reporting in Wisconsin for that wonderful feature piece. And it's worth noting that Marcus Dunhill is actually not his real name. There it was from Jeff on the screen. But, I think his message about who you are now, not what happened to you then, is a reflection of how the SFL approaches humanity and people in the SFL, because you can be whoever you want to be. And Marcus Dunhill right now is crushing it in Vegas right now. Fort Worth is putting it on the Toros tonight.
Yeah, he's having a great game, and that story is one of the reasons why. You may say, well, how do you guys root for a guy in a simulated game,
right?
Whatever. That's the reason why. These the people that are behind these players that you see on the field, and it's just amazing. Some of the personalities that we've gotten to meet around this league, and that's the reason why I can get behind this league and root for the people, the players that you see, because they're real people, and that are human beings that are out there doing great things and overcoming a lot of obstacles in their lives, and it's just great to see.
So let's talk about Marcus Dunhill a little bit. He's had the real struggles this season. He's actually gone a couple of games in a row without even a touchdown pass. Fort Worth's offense has really been struggling, but tonight they've opened it up. Marcus Dunhill right now is 16 of 20 for 170 yards, although they did just take a touchdown off the board. But Fort Worth up 17-7, about to go up 24-7 on one of the biggest surprises of the season, Las Vegas, who's 4-1. And Fort Worth quietly at 2-3. They could get to 500 just like Lone Star, and everyone could be 500 or better in the South Division as Fort Worth tacks on that 6 points.
Yeah, and Vegas, they came in just about as hot as any other team in the league, probably outside of Mexico City. And Fort Worth, they're coming off of a bye week just like Lone Star did, and they've made some changes and said, hey, we signed Marcus Dunhill in the offseason. We're going to open it up and let's see what he can really do. This guy had 34 touchdown passes last season, Cameron, and we're pretty much midway, and he only has 3. But we've seen him make a lot of plays in this first half, and it's paid off dividends for Fort Worth, and now they're up 24-7.
You can see the effects that the bye week has on teams. We've seen a number of teams come out, Canton and Fort Worth stick out specifically, but we've seen a number of teams come out after bye weeks over the last month of competition here in the SFL, and they look like a totally different team, and they've really put that extra week of work to good use.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. It definitely showed this weekend from what I saw throughout the action all weekend long. There's several teams that was coming off week, or the teams a week before that had their off week. They made adjustments to what they were doing early on in the season. Teams were able to progress a little bit over that time frame as well. And it's definitely showed in the results of some of the teams that kind of have lost themselves a little bit, seems like, and then they made great bounce back weeks after their off week.
So Denver will get the ball to start the second half, Mike, as we wind down at halftime here. And I feel like Denver's offense, we just didn't really get to see a whole lot of them in the first half, and that's because we didn't. 21 offensive plays for Denver in that half, only 7 passes. Price was 5 of 7 without a pick, but it's just, we just haven't seen Denver on the field at all. Lone Star's just totally controlled this game. How does Denver fight their way back in this?
Well, basically, going to make adjustments on defense and force a couple of 3-and-outs and to allow that offense to get on the field and make some plays. We talked about Eric Price in the pregame. He hasn't played bad, obviously, with 5 or 7, but he hasn't had much of an opportunity to get anything going. Bailey O'Shaughnessy actually has looked pretty good in the when they've had the ball as well. So get a couple of 3-and-outs. Coming out at the halftime, getting the ball first, maybe put a nice drive together, hopefully get 7 on the board and try to get themselves back into this ball game.
Brett Killian and Ethan Muslin on the call of that second half. And Mike and I will be back here to wrap things up, preview Week 8 of the SFL in postgame. 21-3, Lone Star leads Denver. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports.
Welcome back to Denton, Texas. Second half of the SFL here on Next Level Sports. About to get underway. Ethan Muslin, Brett Solberg here on the call. Giving some love to Jack Brown and Eddie Gage doing the stats for us today. We thank you so much for doing so good and making us look great. Kick on the way here. Bryce Battle going to take it at the goal line. Bring it up to the 20. Going to stay inside and brings it up to about the 24-yard line. So Denver about to start the second half in some decent territory, but they are behind the ball now, down 18.
Yeah, and you can just see from the second quarter play sets alone. Cam said it in the halftime show. Only 24 plays that we saw out of them, and only 11 in the second quarter. You're not gonna have successful quarters if you have that few plays. So Denver needs to stretch things out and dominate time of possession to get some points on the board.
Dominated and probably getting a little more aggressive here. 1st and 10. The pass here to the right side completed. Will be good for a gain of 6 with R.E. Mills, the fullback, getting the reception.
Yeah, not too bad start, getting 4 yards out of it, at least is 4 progression here, but I do agree with you. They do need to be a little bit more aggressive. They have these all like elite type receivers. They've got Quintero, they've got Keel, they've got just a bevy of receivers that they can go to. Even R.E. Mills will be that, that 4th receiver if they need to.
3 wide to the right, set for 2nd and 5. They'll fake the handoff. Plenty of time for Price to go down the middle. There's the big play. Gets it up to the Denver 49-yard line. Huge pass for Bryce Battle. That's his first catch of the game.
Yeah, and that's what they need to do, is to get those receivers involved. Before the second half started, we only saw 2 receptions from Jeremy Mosley and 1 from Logan Keel. Quintero and McCalla Foster haven't been they've only have 1 target between these 2 players. So Eric Price needs to get more involved in the passing game now that they're down 18. And this is a good sign here. They're going shotgun again.
Overall, so far this game, they've only had about 23 plays. And the shotgun snap, pass here from Price. Caught again on the deep route, down to the 31-yard line. A fantastic gain of about 28 yards.
And a fantastic adjustment from the locker room from Denver here. They're going for the deep passes early, which is great to see, and they're relying on those receivers. This time, Logan Keel gets ahead of Mickey McGuire, just beats him by a couple yards, and that's all Eric Price needs to pinpoint that pass and lead Logan Keel to a spot. Fantastic start here for Denver.
Keel there with the 21-yard pass. That's up 1st and 10 at the 31 of Lone Star. 3 wide to the right side, 1 to the left. Price to step. Another pass down the middle.
Nice.
And this one caught again. 3 in a row. And now Bryce Battle puts it inside the 10. 1st and goal to go.
And now they're finding that little secret spot between the safeties down the middle of the field. You'll see the strong and free safeties on the Lone Star end. They spread out a little bit too much, which left that middle of the field open, and it left Bryce Battle, I should say, wide open, nobody around him. Just an easy throw for Eric Price, and that's what they need to continue to do here.
It's now 1st and goal to go at the 8. The second time they've been inside the 10. They hand it off here to Mills. Only going to get about a yard or so on that play. And that tackle was made by Bogey Barr. That's his 5th tackle of the day, so it'll be 2nd and goal to go.
And we have to remember the last time that Denver was in the red zone, their downfall was that they ran the ball too conservatively and went up the middle too much. If they go with a pass here, this might shake the Lone Star defense, and they might get in the end zone here.
It looks like they're setting it up for it with 3 wide to the left. They will go for the pass to the end zone. Knocked away. It's intercepted! Picked off by Nate Hall off the deflection. And Denver comes away with Skwatsky.
Man, and it looks so promising for Denver as well. They decide to go with the fade route on the middle, and this time it looked to be Bo Martin Jr., the first man to deflect that ball. And you see there Nate Hall just being at the right spot, knowing where that deflection was going, gets to the spot, catches it before it hits the turf. Those are the hands we know from Nate the Great, and now Lone Star can make them pay in a big way here.
That is the first turnover of the game between either quarterback. Pass here to the right side, completed. Caught there from Greg Soto. And all these receivers have been getting a lot of love from Ace Vanek here. Of the 21 attempts, looks like the most anyone's ever gotten is B. Robo with 5 tries and 4 catches.
Yeah, and you see that Ziggy Ronick has 2. Soto now has 4. Deuce Fennick has 2. Garrison Blue has 3. And Hank Earl Troll has 1. A spread of wealth here from Ace Fennick.
They'll hand it off to McBride, but she gets caught in the backfield. A nice loss on that play. Looks like Hugo Reynosa and Stephon Forge helping to make that play.
And you have to think Lone Star might be running the ball a little bit more often for McBride, as she had a pretty productive first half with 2 touchdowns. But Denver needs to stay alive, and they need to get a stop here on 3rd down to get this football back.
4 wide receivers, 3 bunch to the right. Ace on the quick step, throwing up to the right side, deep and incomplete. Oh, man, Kindler jumped up on that one to try to make the play, and he did it really well.
And Kindler's been all over the place in the first half, getting 9 total tackles with 3 assisted in this game already. And this time he plays the ball perfectly, knowing that they're going to go to Greg Soto on the deep pass. And this time Kindler just stretches his hands out, wanting the interception, but doesn't, hits his wrists, and forces a 4th down punt here for Lone Star, their first punt of the football game.
First 3 and out of the game as well for Lone Stars. We're going to see Max Luna for the first time to kick this ball away. Kick is up and off. Going to be returned at about the 40-yard line. And Battle's going to bring it up to about the 44. We'll take a little breather here as we switch things up. Denver's going to get the ball. They had their first defensive stop. They still trail Lone Star 21-3. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. We'll be right back. Welcome back here. Denver on 1st and 10. Gonna pass it off here from Price on the deep pass. It's intercepted. Oh no, the second pick of the game for Eric Price. This one picked off by Rain Rie.
Yeah, and again, the one-on-one battles just proving to be unfortunate for both quarterbacks, as we've seen a lot of deflections. And Eric Price looking to get that deep pass again to Riley Quintero, his only second target of this game so far. And Rain Rie doing a great job staying on top of that football. And again, great job by the secondary unit of Lone Star coming in, grabbing an interception, forcing the 4th interception in 2 games here for Eric Price.
On the shotgun here for Ace, gonna throw a pass here down to the middle left. It is completed to B Robo, gonna put it into Denver territory, and it brings it down to the 43.
Yeah, and you can see the difference alone just on the last 2 passes that we saw. Ace Fennec seeing that B.E. Robo was ahead of TJ Frosty instead of Eric Price, seeing that that Rain Rie was ahead of his own receiver, and that's what's the difference between a completed catch and an interception. Lone Star gets another first down.
1st and 10 on the offset I formation, 1 receiver right. They'll hand it off to Ike. She'll go up the middle, get a few more yards. There'll be a gain of about 4. They'll bring it up to the 38-yard line. Look, going back to Eric Price for a bit. Before starting this game, he was in the top 10. Only got picked off 10 times in the last 5 games. This is probably going to put him out of the top 10 now, as he's going to be up to 12 on the season.
Yeah, and again, like I said, 4 interceptions the last 2 games. He hasn't thrown a touchdown in the last 2 games either, if we include this one. So he's got to be careful here.
Pass here to the left side is completed, down just short of the first down. B Robo there again to make the catch to bring it out of bounds to the 34.
And Lone Star can really make Denver pay here. They can really decide if they really want to stretch this drive out as long as possible and get some points out of this. They're nearly in the field goal range for their kickers. So if they can even just get a couple yards, they can get some points out of this.
Twins to the left for 3rd down and 1. Bennett going to step back under pressure, throws to the right side. It will be completed. Good for a first down. Takes it up to the 25-yard line. Nice gain of 7 on that play. Garrison Blue keeping the drive moving.
But again, it's that composure from Ace Fennec, knowing that the pocket is collapsing a little bit here, waiting until the last second, knowing that Garrison Blue is going to get open, slings the rock, gets it to him, gets Blue's 4th reception in this game, and again, spreading the wealth. Fennec doing a great job there.
1 receiver on each side for 1st and 10. Fennec going to step, throws right. Another catch here made by Blue. And going to get about 9 yards. Is it going to get popped out of bounds just short of the 15-yard line? They're going to say he's just a hair off.
Yeah, it's another good drive here from Lone Star. Definitely making Denver pay here. And I feel like Denver, once again, kind of falling back to this conservative defense and letting these out routes and these fade routes just easy catches for them, easy catch and runs. And now it's a 2nd down where they could really play anything as they go heavy set here.
We'll hand it off to Ike. She'll go to the left side, get stopped just short of the first down. Brought down from behind by Reynosa. Going to bring up 3rd down and inches to go.
And it's probably the biggest 3rd down in this game for Denver here. They want to push Lone Star back as far as possible. They know that they're probably going to have to allow 3 points out of this regardless, but they need to prevent them from getting a first down so they prevent any more clock getting shed off here.
3rd down and a piece of paper for Ace. Going to throw left side. Oh, off the helmet of Robo. It's going to fall incomplete. 4th down coming up. You have to figure Lone Star is going to kick the field goal.
Yeah, just a rare, unfortunate drop from B.E. Robo, and he just dipped his head a little bit too low, thinking the pass was going to be near the turf, but it just hits his little old noggin there and forces Matt Fennec here to kick a pretty chip shot field goal here. This is only going to be from about 32.5 yards, I would say.
Matt Fennec for the season, 9 for 9. This will put it into double digits. It'll be a 32-yard attempt from the left hash. Up and on its way, and it's good. There's 10 for 10 from Matt Fennec. Going to make it a 24-3 ball game with about 4:40 and change to go in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, that's a big field goal as well from the Lone Star side. Now it's a full 3-score lead for them, and Denver probably has to be near perfect the rest of the game here to get those points back. So Denver, I think it's time to wake up here.
Yeah, of the 5 drives that Lone Star has had, 4 of them have gone for scores, 3 of them for touchdowns. However, credit to the Denver defense, they've only managed to give up 3 points so far. Battle going to take this from inside his end zone, bring up to the 15 to the 20, and get brought down to the 22-yard line. Next weekend on Next Level Sports, Carolina and Tulsa, both fighting for playoff spots, will take center stage Saturday at 6:30 Eastern. Sunday, Indianapolis, fresh off a 63-10 dismantling of the V8s, take their talent to D.C. to take on the Red Hot Dragons. Live look-ins will include Sioux Falls in Baltimore and Motor City, Los Angeles. For a channel guide and more information about NXT, if you want to share it with your friends, visit NLSE.com. Price going to screen it out to Bailey. Gets a spin move, shakes one, trying to get back to the first down. It's going to be just short, down to the 31-yard line, a gain of 9.
And they're going to need that and more from O'Shaughnessy as he stayed relatively quiet in this third quarter here, with Denver not really having a lot of opportunities to, use the football offensively. So he's probably going to be a vital piece of this comeback attempt here for the Nightwings.
Power I formation for 2nd down and 1. They'll hand off to Bailey up the middle, first down, gets a couple more yards. It'll get about a gain of 3 to 4. To mark him down at the 34-yard line, but it'll be a first down for the Nightwings.
Yeah, and I think that's just what Denver wanted there. They just wanted to move the chains, get O'Shaughnessy involved a little bit more here. Just his 13th carry in this game. Just a shade over 50 yards, 55 yards at this point. Definitely need to get more involved to get that passing game going too.
3 receivers right, but they'll screen it out to Bailey on the left side. Stays on his feet. And to get brought down to about the 40-yard line. They'll credit him with 6 yards on that play.
Yeah, and they're really using O'Shaughnessy here on this drive here. That's the 3rd straight touch for him as he gets another swing pass, another nice 6 yards out of that. Sets up a 2nd and medium to short and opens up the playbook here again. As they go heavy set, they could go to O'Shaughnessy again for the 4th time.
And they will hand it off instead to the fullback. That's Ari Mills. Getting the first down, getting about, I'm going to say 6-7 yards on that play, but moves the chains.
Yeah, and R.E. Mills is that traditional power fullback that if you need a couple yards and you need to get that first down, he's going to be the right man for the job, and he does exactly what he's paid for here, gets a first down.
4 receivers, 3 to the right on 1st and 10, now at the Denver 46. Price faking the handoff. A little bit of time, going to screen it out to Bailey. Didn't get caught. Didn't get tagged by either diving player, but couldn't get anything going as Rie's going to tackle him down to the 49.
Yeah, and it was Albert Begin and looked to be Nate Hall that both missed the tackles there, going for a leaping attempt to try to stop the play as soon as possible. Didn't happen, but it didn't matter at the end of the day because it still only gained 2 yards.
Heavy set here on 2nd and 8. Looks like it'll be a run. I'll hand it off to Bailey. Going to go up the middle. Lost the football!
no!
It is picked up by Lone Star! What a recovery from Bo Martin Jr. Picking it up off the ground. Looked like he was trying to go make some distance out of it, but it's still glory football.
And Denver's luck just goes from bad to worse. Eric Price throwing an interception on the first play of their last drive, and this time relying on Bailey O'Shaughnessy throughout this drive, and just an unfortunate bounce out of the hands and just bobbles it to the floor. Bo Martin Jr., the right man at the right time, trying to get around to see if he can gain any more yardage, but Lone Star once again forcing a turnover on Denver, and they could really put the final nails in this coffin here late in this third quarter.
Going to be from their own 47. Power I formation, 1 receiver right. Fennec to throw, under pressure, throws to the left side, caught by Ike. Going to go out of bounds. It'll be a loss of 1. We got an update from Las Vegas. What do you got, Cam?
Thank you, Ethan. We got Fort Worth running amok on Vegas, Mike.
Yeah, Las Vegas looking to get back into this game right here, and then Joseph Green looks across the middle and is picked off by Adam Leach, and he takes it back 97 yards for the touchdown. Fort Worth dominating Vegas 31-7.
Shocker. What vision. Back to Denton with Ethan Brett.
Thanks so much, Cam. 2nd down and 11. Ace to throw up down the middle, tipped away, incomplete. Nice awareness there from 22, Josh Neal, knocking that ball away, sets up 3rd and long.
And give credit to the inside linebacker, Ramiro Morales, being part of that coverage as well, using his unknown speed to stay with the receiver. And that could have been a very, very dangerous pass completion on Denver's defensive end, but great job to deflect the football.
Trips right for 3rd down and 11, 1 receiver left. Ace on the quick step, throwing down the middle, caught, and only up to Denver's 46-yard line will be Robo Go. Only be a gain of 7. It'll be the second 3 and out for the Glory.
Yeah, and they're really trying to rely heavy on BE Robo to get those first down conversions. This time it just doesn't work, hoping that he would have a little bit more space after the catch to run for the first down, but just gets demolished, flattened to the ground. And the second time this half, Lone Star's going to punt.
Luna to punt this ball away. Battle to let this one go. It's going to take... Oh, it's going to be close, but no, it falls into the end zone. Oh, that'll be a touchback. Denver getting a little bit of a lucky break there. They might have just let that thing drop. That would have been down to about the half-foot line.
Oh, there you didn't need to dive there, young fella. You had plenty of opportunity to let that ball rest. Could have just touched it and went to the goal line, but he dived instead and give Denver some free yards here. But now they got to take advantage. They need to score here in this drive, I think.
It's absolutely vital now, down 3 scores with a minute to go here in the third. 3 wide to the right side, 1 to the left. Price faking the handoff, thrown to the right, and it'll be caught with just barely a foot in bounds. Logan Keel making the play, good for a gain of 4.
Yeah, and this league has always been very touchy-feely when it comes to, feet in bounds and the sidelines and making sure that it is a catch and it isn't a catch. But this one, no doubt about it, he definitely has the wherewithal to keep his feet in bounds and just, angle his way out of bounds to make that a completion for 5 yards.
Tight end flex to the right side with 3 bunches left for 2nd and 5. Price stepping up and brought down from behind. It's a sack for a loss of 4. Tina Begin making that big play.
Yeah, and in that play, that passing play there with the receivers going on 5 to 8 yard cutting routes here, I'm not sure if Eric Price needed to go for the forward move. I know the pocket was collapsing, but I think maybe a 3 or 5 step drop would have helped them a little bit more with his time on passing. And now he's going to be forced to do empty set shotgun here at 3rd and 8.
Bit of a high snap, pump fake from Price, under pressure! Oh, and another sack on the play! That's Jukin Rugen! 2 sacks in a row for the Glory line.
And give this man a tie in the all-time leaderboards here with Chad Tackle. Now with his 69th sack of his career. Very, very nice.
Absolutely. But it's down to the end of the third quarter. It's time to put some fours up, everybody. The Glory leading the Nightwings 24-3. You're watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APA Music on Next Level Sports. Let's flip sides, and we'll come back. Welcome back to Denton, Texas. Denver about to punt this ball away to start the fourth quarter. Ethan Muslin, Brett Solberg on the call for you tonight. Jack Brown, Eddie Gage doing the stats as this punt returns from about the 50. A nice little run to bring it up to the 46-yard line. Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for information about the league and its 28 teams, all the places you can watch live games, plus links to apparel from Sector 6 and SFL mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotions. See all the league records, team stats, player leaderboards, the rankings of the next class of SFL talent, and so much more. SimulationFL.net, your home for everything SFL. Vanek under pressure for this first play of the drive and brought down for a loss of 6. Oh, what an incredible sack on the line. That is number 55, Igor Barbatov.
And just what the doctor ordered here for Denver. They pushed Lone Star back to their own side of the field as well, and now forcing a 2nd and 16. But that could prove to be dangerous, as Ace Vanek has been super efficient with the football all throughout this game.
Quick pass here from 2nd and long will be completed. Unless this looks like Hronek making the catch. We're going to bring it up down to 39 for a 12-yard gain to set up 3rd and 4.
Yeah, and we talk about the efficiency there, and we see it right there. Now going to be 25 of 30 in this game, and Fennec has found his receivers very, very well done. Here's Hronek with his 3rd reception in this game, and now sets up a 3rd and short, and they could really do some damage here. If they get a first down, it's basically back to Matt Fennec's field goal range here.
Absolutely. 3rd down and 4 for Ace. Going to throw left side, wide open pass for the first down. Garrison Blue getting it to about the 32. And a good gain of 6 yards moves the chains. First down glory.
And it seems like all game Denver has been very afraid almost of Fennec throwing the deep pass, that it's left those medium out routes just wide open. And that's just another easy first down for Lone Star.
Going to 3 wide to the left side, tight end flex to the right for 1st and 10. Ace quick step, throwing left, completed, and just right out of bounds. There's the card shark connection again. Ace to Deuce, this one for a gain of 5.
And again, that's probably the big example of Denver being so worrisome about the deep pass. You can see all the linebackers, all the corners, all the safeties, about 8, 9, 10 yards back, just leaving an open field for any short out routes to occur. And that's just an easy throw, an easy catch for the Ace to Deuce connection.
Offset I for 2nd and 5 on the heavy set. Hand off to Ike. She'll go right side. Gets the first down. Going to get brought down from behind by Forge, but not until she gets inside the red zone. It'll be first down at the 19.
Yeah, and Denver is definitely trying to stop them wherever possible, this Lone Star offense, but they keep shaking it up on them with the short passes and then throwing all of a sudden an Ike McBride run, not really suspecting it, and she gets a very easy first down from some nice stretch blocking on the right side.
1st and 10 now, just inside the red zone. 3 wide receivers, 2 in the backfield. Fennec stepping back, under pressure, throws down to the turf. Oh man, what a huge play. That's number 56, Marlon Marshall, getting in on the section.
Yeah, and Denver definitely getting to the quarterback in this 4th quarter here. 2nd sack of this drive here with Marshall getting involved, but now sets up a very dangerous 2nd and 14 where, again, Fennec has been super efficient.
Going on the 4 deep route there, he's going to run it. Didn't see anybody open. He'll get it back near to the original line of scrimmage. A gain of 5 from Ace. Let's set up a 3rd down and 9.
That's kind of funny because they went 90 all slants, and it seemed like all 3 receivers were open for a quick 3-4 yard pass, but I think Fennec this time decided, you know what, I might be able to get more than just 3-4 yards if I ran the football, and he only gets 1.
And he ended up getting back to the line and a little bit more. Now 3rd down and 9 to the 18. Shotgun with 2 and 2. Pump fakes down the middle. Wow. Pass caught near the end zone. Gonna get brought down to the 1 yard line. Ace to Deuce again.
Yeah, and that Card Sharks connection has been so big for a lot of these key passes here. Only the 4th reception for Deuce, but gets himself probably the biggest first down of this game for Lone Star as it pushes them to the 1, and they can hit the final nail in this coffin if they can get to the end zone. This Lone Star offense has been fantastic throughout this game.
Ace and deuce almost guaranteeing the glory to get to the money cards as
Oh,
Ike
God.
McBride up to the right side. Touchdown, Lone Star.
My word, how smart was that run from Ike McBride? It looked like it was everything was being ready for an inside run. Seeing that there was no open spot, just look at McBride, seeing the stretch slowly occurring instead of the inside run. She makes the outside work for her, uses her finesse and her smarts to get to the end zone. And like I said, I think this is the nail in the coffin. Time to get the salami and cheese, my man.
We'll probably have as the late great Chick Hearn would say, put the mustard on the hot dog. The ice is in the fridge. And the extra point up on the way, and it is good. 31-3 now. Going in with the fourth quarter with 7 minutes to go. We'll take a quick break, catch our breath, see if Denver can pull something out. You're watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Medal of Honor Field here in Denton, Texas. Glory kicking this away to Bryce Spaniel. Going to take it about the 3-yard line. Get a little bit of coverage and get brought down to the Denver 26-yard line. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. Denver hoping to get something going here now, down 27. Excuse me, down by a whole lot more than that. And it's a nice little catch here for about the first down as everything's just going wrong. R.E. Mills here making the catch. First down now at the 39.
Yeah, now with Denver down 28, which it definitely feels like a hell of a lot more than 27. They're definitely playing for pride at this point, and it's now time to start throwing out some plays they haven't tried yet. And I think definitely get Eric Price involved here, get a nice, first down deep pass to R.E. Mills. We've seen that a few times throughout the season. I'd like to see that more often. We might be able to see R.E. Mills as that fourth option receiver.
Taking the handoff here on first down. Another throw from Price to the left side will be completed. That is Riley Quintero. His first catch of the game. It goes for 8.
Yeah, and he's had a couple targets throughout this game, but Eric Price just hasn't seemed to have the opportunity to spread the wealth as much as Ace Fennick, as he's only had 18 attempts to pass the ball in this game, which is almost half of what Fennick has throughout the entirety of the game. So Denver just playing behind the 8 ball all game.
Taking the handoff here, Price up the middle, it's intercepted! Man. Third pick of the ball game. This one taken away by Rain Ria. That's his second, and everything is falling apart for Denver, it seems.
It just seems like a building with no foundation for Denver in this game. And in every little mishap that happens, it's just crumbling down floor by floor, piece by piece. And this isn't what Denver wants to see out of their offense that has been so explosive throughout this season, only being able to score 23 points with this game and their last one. It's just not a good sight to see for them.
He's going to take the high snap. Quick pass here to Ike. Going to be good for a couple of yards. And bring it out to about the 46 for a gain of 2. Looking at the turnover ratios for Denver, they were even going into this game. Now with everything seemingly falling off the wheels, they're now back up to a -4. That's going to put them on par with Motor City and Indianapolis.
Yeah, and they only had 11 turnovers coming into this game, which is really good. But now up to 14.
Ace with a nice little pass here. Good to number 87, Hank Trell. That's his second catch of the game. Going to bring it up to the Denver 43 for another first down.
And then going back to that turnover game here, going into this week, they were 8th in the least amount of turnovers in terms of SFL teams, and now they're going to jump themselves to basically the bottom half of the league in turnovers. It's just not a great sight to see.
It's going to have to be a bit of work on Eric Price's turnover tendencies as they go into the practice for next week. As that run for McBride going to go for about 4 as we are closing in on the 5-minute mark here in the ball game.
Yeah, and we're going to see a heavy dose of McBride, and maybe we'll see a little bit of Mateo Privado as well to kind of pepper in a little bit, but a lot of run plays to kind of just shed whatever's left on the clock here at 4:45.
Wins to the right side. Pass here to Ike is going to be completed. Got caught in the backfield, but enough to move some yards. Almost got the first down. Got pushed out of bounds at about the 34. We'll bring up a 2nd and 1.
Yeah, and there we go again with like McBride getting those touches, and right now just padding her stats after a very quiet week from her. Only 56 all-purpose yards against Mexico City in their last game, and definitely been a big problem for Denver in this game.
We're going to hand off to Ike here on 3rd and 1. Good for a first down. Pushes up to the 27-yard line, about to 28. They'll credit it with about 6 yards. Another first down for the Glory.
Yeah, and McBride this time getting pretty close to 100 all-purpose yards as she pushes forward even more and gets above the 70 rushing yard mark. It seems like a very quiet game, but super efficient on her end.
1st and 10 now from the Denver 28. Heavy pro set. Waiting for it. They're going to milk as much time as they can here. Ace going to throw left side. Knocked down. Incomplete. One of the few incompletions we've seen from Ace Fennick this entire game. That one broken up by TJ Frosty.
Yeah, and Frosty was ready to get that one there and definitely needed something out of this, knowing that they were going B.E. Robo's way, and he wanted to grab that interception to have a positive mark here for Denver, which is just had a very unfortunate game. You don't see it all too often from a very disciplined, sound, and efficient Nightwing squad. I mean, we got to remember back of the days when they had Jared McChesney and how efficient they were on the ground, and they keep falling with new players. It's just been a very odd game for them.
Ike McBride going to roll up the right side for a first down, brought down to the 13-yard line. Another first down for the Glory. This one going for about 15.
Yeah, and this is the Ike McBride show on this drive here, getting as many touches as she can, and just a fantastic block from Privado from basically changing a 0-yard play into a 15-yard play. And I think the people in Denton, Texas right now are chanting, "We like Ike. We like Ike." And as she continues to get that ball punched her way.
So far, a total of 113 all-purpose yards, 88 on the ground, 25 in the air. Ike McBride has been a real key factor in this Lone Star offense, putting up so many points against a solid Denver defense. 1st and 10 now at the 13, 3:20 to go. On the heavy set, they hand it off. Up the middle is Mateo Pravado, getting his 2nd carry of the day. Only going to get a couple of yards, brings it up to the 11.
Yeah, and again, it's just going to be all Ike McBride here from going on forward, and Mateo Pravado just to push forward and shed that clock as much as possible. We're now under 3 minutes left in this game. They're going to get some points out of this, and yeah, there's not much else to really say here. It's just going to be lots of runs and maybe an odd swing pass here and there.
Yeah, we're coming up to the point where it's going to be almost impossible for Denver to make any sort of comeback. So it's just at this point, Denver's just going to have to try and stop Lone Star as best they can. 2nd down and 8. Oh, and a big hit! And you see the secondary players are in for the remainder of this drive. That was Paul Smith handing it off to number 43, Robert Howard. So everyone on the starting lineup appears to be done for the day.
Yeah, when you get under 3 minutes and you have a big lead, a big comfortable and secure lead, you're going to see those backups come in. And a bit of a frustration tackle there from Ramiro Morales, who's been involved a little bit here. Now a 6 total tackle in this game, but very frustrated of the outcome of this.
On 3rd down and 8, 3 wide receivers to the right. But we will not get there just yet. We got the 2-minute warning coming right up. Lone Star hoping to put a little more points on the board to make it a 30-plus point game. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. We'll take a break. Be right back. Welcome back to Denton, Texas. 2 minutes to go here in the football game. Denver taking the timeout as they stop the run here for 4th down and 9. We'll see Matt Fennick kick the field goal. That'll make it a 31-point game.
Yeah, he'll get himself a little bit more involved here, keep his leg warm, and get himself a nice 28-yarder. It looks to be maybe a 28-yarder. I would say. Yeah, that looks like 28. Can I say 28 enough times, Ethan? 28, 28, 28?
Maybe. I don't know. But maybe if you say 28 on 3, then maybe it'll bring out a curse. I'm not entirely sure. But it will be a 28-yard attempt from the right hash. Good snap, good hold, kick on the way. It is up, and it is through. 34-3 now with a minute and 54 seconds to go. Coming up on the APM Music postgame show, Cam and Michael wrap up this clash between the Nightwings and the Glory. Plus, we'll have first reactions to the Fort Worth Vegas final and preview next weekend's NXT matchups, Carolina versus Tulsa and Indianapolis versus DC. And that's going to be coming up in just a few minutes on the APM Music postgame show. Fennec to boot this one away. Bryce Battle going to take it from about the 1. Bit of a diving catch to pick it up. Getting up to about the 20 and up to the 26-yard line. So Denver will have an opportunity to get a little bit of garbage stats here, but it'll be enough to at least keep the team a little bit warm and try to figure out what went wrong.
And again, it's playing for pride for this last minute and 50 seconds. They want to end this game on a high note, even if they've been, off this entire game. It feels like any momentum that they gain, they just turn the ball over.
It really has been like that. And now they have the pass from Price. Going to go deep down the middle. Tipped up, incomplete. That one knocked away by number 21 of Lone Star. Looks like that's still their main defense. Rain Rie still doing their thing.
And Rie wants a hat trick of interceptions here. He was screaming in the chat earlier that he wanted one more, and he almost had the opportunity to grab his third here. And, almost gets it, but Denver, you can try it again here on second down.
Now 2nd and 10. 3 bunch to the right side, 1 to the left. Price stepping back, throwing down to the left side again, tipped away, incomplete. This one knocked away. That's number 23. And that is Frederick Muller, the secondary cornerback, making the deflection.
Yeah, I don't mind Denver going with these passes here. They want to get Eric Price kind of out of this funk here. He's been unfortunately in this funk for, I would say, at least the last 2.5 weeks, and he just needs to get himself out of it, and getting deep completed passes definitely helps to get that funk off him.
3rd and 10, going to throw deep right side. It is caught, good for the first down. Taken up to the 45-yard line. Big reception there from Logan Keel. Makes it 1st and 10 with 90 to go. Price going to throw again. A little pressured up the middle. Tipped up. Intercepted! Oh, no. What an incredible turn. The ball was kind of just hovering on the defender's head, but it's roughed up and picked up by Nate Hall.
And you want to match Rain Rie's number there, Nate Hall. He gets his 2nd of the game here, and we talk about this again. Denver, it feels like they get some kind of momentum going, and then a turnover happens, whether it be a fumble or this 4th interception in this game. Just such an unfortunate and unorthodox game from the Nightwings.
It has been a series of unfortunate events, to say the least. Run here up to the middle. Good for a couple of yards as Denver takes their 2nd time out. And you're absolutely right. Just a lot of these drives have been ended up with just unfortunate event after another. After that second punt from Denver, you had interception, fumble, punt, interception. They just can get anything going in any drive in the second half.
And that has to be the credit of Lone Star's defense stepping up here. We talked about how they were, bottom in the league in a lot of statistical categories defensively, and they basically stepped up in a big way here. They knew that they weren't essentially playing to the form that they were last season. They got to the championship game, mind you, last season, and right now they come into this game 2-3, very unorthodox for them, but they step up, they show why they're still one of the elite teams in this league, and get themselves back to 500.
You're absolutely right about that. They took losses earlier this season against Vegas, who were 4-1, now looking to be 4-2. They lost one to Louisiana, who ended up 2-4, and Atlanta, who are now up to 3-3. As that pass caught down to the 26-yard line. That's Deuce Fennec. They got the starters back out here again.
Yeah, and you know what? With the time that they have left, it doesn't really matter anymore who's in and who's out. It might be just more reps for for Ace Fennick here, who has been super efficient throughout this game, and right now threatening to 300 yards. And an all-around fantastic game from Ace Fennick.
It looks like we won't get any more. They just needed that first down to keep things moving. They'll go into the victory formation, kneel the ball a couple of times, and then call it a day. So with the win, Lone Star will go to 500, and next week, let's see, where are they going to be next week? I believe they are they will be away, going to Fatality Field in Arizona to take on the Scorpions, who have been doing pretty well for themselves. Denver, on the other hand, they will be hosting the Jacksonville Kings at Richard Snowden Stadium, and they'll have an opportunity to hopefully get to 3-4 in that point next week. And that will do it. Zeros on the clock. Lone Star putting up an incredible victory over the Denver Nightwings, 34-3. It was all Lone Star all the time here in this match.
Yeah, and listen to this stat line that I'm going to pull up here. 33-24 with the plays in favor of Lone Star in the first half. Second half, even worse. 40-24 in favor of Lone Star. They just dominated both time of possession, momentum, and they seemed to have the right plays at the right time. It was just an all-out, complete game from Lone Star. There's probably not a lot of negatives that we can take from Lone Star's game. And like you said, Arizona next week is going to have a tough task ahead of them if they're going to play this kind of Lone Star squad. As for Denver, we've talked about it all throughout the rest of this fourth quarter. It's just back to the drawing board, head over to play Jacksonville, and get themselves to right this ship. But there isn't much else to say about Denver. It's all about recharging and getting them back to positive and winning ways.
Yeah, because they're still in the top 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they're closing into about the top 12 in defense for points allowed. As we talked about, 29.4 points allowed. They're still in that bottom tier, and this definitely kind of proved that point. Lone Star, on the other hand, is going to be moving way up on that points allowed standing. Prior to this game, let's see, what were they averaging? They were averaging about 31.4, so that's going to knock their average down considerably. So this is going to be a good momentum shift for Lone Star as they go down to take down Arizona. And as you said, and look at that. There's that bobble we were talking about earlier. That one off the head of number 53, Forrest Everhart, that ended up going in for the pick. And that has been Denver's game in a nutshell. Just everything going Lone Star's way and everything going wrong for Denver.
Bobbles and interceptions, and we see it right there. Just an unfortunate game for Denver.
The player of the game honors goes to Ike McBride. She got 18 attempts, 89 yards, 3 touchdowns, 30 receiving yards for 119 total offensive yards. Great job from Ike. And that's going to do it for us here in Denton. Once again, final score 34-3. Lone Star just decimating Denver. We'll see if they can do that again next week when they take on Arizona. For my partner, Brett Solberg, the stat folks, Mr. Jack Brown, and Eddie Gage, I'm Ethan Muslin. This has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. Coming up next in just a few minutes, it's at the post-game show with Cam and Mike, and that's going to be coming up just after the break. So stick around. We'll be right back with more SFL recaps right after this.
Great to be back. Bidoo.
Welcome back to SFL Studios. Lone Star blows out Denver tonight in a snooze fest, Mike. It was just not Denver's night. They never were able to get anything moving, and there's just no really other way to say it.
Yeah, Cam, looking down at my notes from this game, and when people make the cliche statement, it was all a certain team. It's definitely all Lone Star that's on my notes today, and they totally dominated this game. And kudos to them for coming out, and executing the game plan the way that they did. Ike McBride had a huge game, 3 touchdowns on the ground, on 89 yards, but that's the typical Ike McBride that we are accustomed to seeing from Lone Star, and they definitely got back to what they like to do. Ace Fennick, efficient, 276 yards passing, and they dominated the game.
I guess kudos to you hitting the nail on the head on Eric Price in pregame. Well, he'll take a step back in his maturation, and we'll see what he can do next week. But Denver's going to fall to 2-4. It's sort of a yin and yang of emotions, Mike, because for the South, you're not feeling too good after tonight. Fort Worth blows out Vegas tonight. That game ended up 37-21 final, but it wasn't that close. And then Lone Star gets the win. So the South is now Mexico City 5-1, Houston 4-2, and Lone Star and Fort Worth are 3-3. It is the toughest division in football in season 19 statistically, and it got a whole lot closer tonight in the standings.
Well, since we've gone to the division format, the South, the Tex-Mex, as is affectionately known as, it's pretty much been the toughest division season in and season out, and this season is no different. Fort Worth and Lone Star got off to slow starts this season, but a team that participated in the championship game last season, and Fort Worth, really, they've just come up short on a couple of games thus far, and these guys both had off weeks last week. Seemed like they got some things together, and they bounced back, greatly and with authority today, both teams.
In the West, Arizona probably wins Week 7. They're 4-2. They are still trailing Vegas, who falls to 4-2. Vegas has the head-to-head on them, but then Denver plays bad. San Diego plays bad. They both fall to 2-4, and that seems like an obvious two-horse race unless Denver and San Diego have a chance to get hot. But big win for Arizona yesterday.
Yeah, huge win for Arizona, on the road in Houston. They dominated the time of possession in the second half. And as you mentioned, it's going to probably looks like a two-horse race out there in the West. And one of the big downfalls for Arizona in the West right now is Vegas's domination over them. They have had a hard time beating Vegas over the past couple of seasons. I think they play again in Week 14, and that may turn out to be a huge game for the division title out there.
Yep, that's right. Week 14. Every game in Week 14 is a rematch from earlier in the season, so that's going to be really interesting. Earlier tonight, we didn't get a chance to touch on it at halftime, but earlier tonight, Louisiana ends up beating Jacksonville after falling behind 14-0. They put up 40. Tommy Utah, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions that game. Louisiana improves to 2-4. They are a game behind in the East. And then more interestingly out West, Mike, the Portland Fleet beat the Charleston Predators 38-30. Both running backs, Keith Swearingen and Ezekiel Love, go over 200 yards in that game. But Portland has now won 2 in a row, Mike, and are the Fleet starting to get some things figured out? That defense is still a little shaky, but that offense is humming right now.
Yeah, and actually they've been doing a great job offensively all season long. They just have not played well defensively. They made they were trying to fill some holes that were some huge holes actually that were left open by free agent departures, and maybe now that they are turning the corner. We're here at the midpoint of the season. Maybe they're turning the corner defensively. Even though they did give up 30, but maybe they're just figuring some things out that hey, 1 or 2 plays here or there. Can make a difference in the game, and maybe things are starting to swing their way.
Next week on Next Level Sports, we've got a pair of games, Saturday late evening and Sunday night. First, Saturday at 6:30, the 3-3 Carolina Skyhawks take on the 4-2 Tulsa Desperados. Tulsa has won 4 in a row. Carolina is back up to 500, chasing a wild card spot because DC and Baltimore are in the Atlantic, and they are distant first and second. But This is an interesting one, Mike, because these two have some history. Corey Jones, Tulsa has just, ripped Carolina's hearts out over and over again. Corey Jones caught a Hail Mary one year. They won on a pick six in overtime one year. Tulsa has just, they've had the Skyhawks number, but this Carolina team with the running back, fullback combo of Pseudo Nakai and Notori Hanzo have something special working in Carolina, and this should be a pretty interesting game between some middleweights, Mike, that I think have a real shot at making some noise if they can get on a roll second half of the season.
Yeah, and the first word that came to my mind when you mentioned this matchup was interesting. And I think it's going to be an interesting matchup between these two teams. And as you mentioned, they're middleweights. They're not the heavyweights in the SFL. But one thing about Carolina for me this season, they don't feel like the old Carolina Skyhawks to me. They feel like they are truly ready to take that next step. And as you mentioned, that running back combination that they have going right now, and Matt South is playing good enough football to keep them in most games, and their defense is typically great in most of their games. So yeah, it won't be the same old Carolina that we've seen in seasons past, but Tulsa. Maybe they're ready to take that next step up to light heavyweight. I don't know if they're ready to take the step to heavyweight, but they've won their last 4-2. They're leading the Central. And, yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup as we go back to that word once again.
Mike, Arizona owner Eddie Gage wants to know what weight class Arizona's in.
I think they are super middleweight.
There you go. There you have it. Sunday night, Eddie, you can take that however you want. Sunday night at 8:45, Indianapolis goes to D.C. Now, I will say, Mike, I don't think many will expect Indianapolis to win this game. However, they did just score a whopping 63 on Motor City, and I believe their defensive coordinator resigned after the game. Indianapolis got it turned on. They've turned it on against Canton when they had a 30-point comeback in the second half, the largest in history. And that win over Canton is now starting to look a little bit better now because Canton's won a couple. What kind of chance do you give Indianapolis in this game? Because if they did get the win, I think it would turn the whole league upside down if the Ramblers were able to get to 3-4. Yeah,
it would be a shock. Let's not pull any punches with that one. It'd be a shock if they can go into D.C. and get a win, especially the way that D.C. has been playing this season. Their only loss is the first game of the season against Baltimore, and they've just been playing great on both sides of the ball. One thing that could possibly play into Indianapolis's hands in this game is that D.C., they're not explosive offense. They like to play 3 yards from the cloud of dust. They like to pound the rock at you, and defensively, they just like to play solid and get some turnovers and kind of keep themselves in games, which in turn can keep an opponent in games. So that's a possibility in this one. We saw Brad Jones have a career day, 6 touchdowns and over 200 yards, yesterday. So maybe we're going to see like a close game that turnover here or there can make a difference.
That's we can only hope after tonight. That was rough. Denver falls 2-4. They lose to Lone Star 34-3. You don't often see 3 on the scoreboard in the SFL. Well, for all of us at the Simulation Football League, thank you for welcoming us into your living room over the weekend. We'll see you next weekend. For Mike St. Green, I'm Cameron Irvine. Have a great rest of your Sunday.